Takagi is kind of ethereal. She often feels alien in her mannerisms, at least to me. She is an anime character and they aren't human, but Takagi is weirder than average. There are of course reasons for this. One is the way she speaks. In Japanese, word order is somewhat arbitrary, especially casually. This gives people the ability to say the most unexpected things first, to communicate information as fast as possible. Takagi does not do this. She tries to trick Nishikata with statements that read like innuendos until they are finished. She also doesn't have a canon first name, so I will have to call her Takagi even in English. Nishikata's use of the honorific Takagi-san is also worth discussing. Generally, with such a close relationship between people of the same age, Takagi-chan or Kun would be more appropriate, and yet Nishikata unconsciously places her above him, which makes the audience do so as well. Honestly, I have to swallow an honorific sometimes when talking about her, and I speak English. Nishikata's perspective is also unconsciously playing a role in many other ways. I mean, Nishikata likes Takagi, so he's going to present her more flatteringly from his perspective, but that's not all. She is made to feel smarter by this effect. For example, and this might just be me, when Nishikata couldn't go swimming, Takagi says she also can't swim, and asks Nishikata to guess a reason. I for one would have never guessed she was on her period, because that's not how my brain works. But it is how Nishikata's works, and therefore the idea is placed into my mind. And due to social taboos, the idea is stickier than the real reason, which is that she wants to mess with Nishikata. Of course, this effect is limited by her pulling the same trick multiple times, like when Takagi doesn't bring her bike to walk with Nishikata, so the audience knows her tricks by now, but it's still present. Nishikata never really wins against Takagi as well, whereas in similar anime like Love is War, they feel much more equal. There is of course the times when Takagi imitates the protagonists of 100% Unrequited Love. The first time she does this is as a roleplay, repeating lines she saw in the anime to mess with Nishikata, because she knows he will become flustered before she does. But in the second one, she is playing a clumsy character and loses to him on purpose because she wonders if his type is girls like that. Other times Takagi loses to Nishikata, Nishikata also seems to come out worse off. One is when he held Takagi's hand to stop her fall, giving him a win but getting him teased nonetheless. Or of course, the critical hit when he told Takagi he liked spending time with her, which he never even found out about. There is also her honesty. Takagi says she doesn't lie to Nishikata, and that all the things she says to him are true, and not just to make fun of him. This makes her much more honest than average for a human being. This is incredibly notable because of their ages. 13-year-olds are generally not as mature as Takagi. People in general aren't, but that's not the point. I mean, Nishikata is embarrassed to say he likes a manga, and Takagi is out here declaring her wish to marry him. This can be how some boys his age can feel due to girls hitting puberty on average a year or two earlier, which is effectively communicated by his actions, and likely the reason Takagi was written this way. We must also acknowledge that the occasional sexual comment she makes may be uncomfortable for some adults in the audience, making her feel even weirder. Though this is a shonen manga, so that was likely not the intent, so I wouldn't put too much weight behind it. But what I would put weight behind is that along with being mature, Takagi is also rather intelligent, both academically and emotionally. This is likely how she comes up with all her various schemes, but one thing we don't see much of is her thinking. I assume she spends time outside of interacting with Nishikata thinking about how to mess with him, like Nishikata does. And yet we don't see much of it, so it can feel like all her ideas are spur of the moment. While some probably are, the subtle implication that they all are makes her feel even weirder. I think having the three girls as interludes also helps with the contrast, as we are reminded regularly how normal people act, and that Takagi is rather weird. Hojo and her boyfriend add to this effect, showing a more normal relationship with people of more equal levels of maturity. I initially thought all of them were rather unnecessary, but I have come to take an alternate view. I think the three girls are essential to keeping the story feeling grounded, and not simply genius alien girl bullies random boy, and sometimes finds actual aliens. They have random outbursts, unlike Takagi, who at first seems to be mostly laughter and calm perfection. I of course say at first because we get more of Takagi blushing and being vulnerable later in the series, but don't discount the effect of the biases of first impressions. If you've enjoyed this video, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to see more like it.